required. Alright, so we are in the section of question and answers now. So we like to take questions for the three speakers. So we are looking at the way of doing it. Let's have 2 questions from here, 2 from here, and then probably 1 from the other end. Okay, so if you have a question, we take the questions generally. Our speakers will note the questions down and then they will answer. So if you have a question, please raise up your hand and I can give you the microphone. Okay. Well, I would love to have the secondary school student first. Okay. So since you don't have a question, okay, we have somebody here. Okay, someone at the back there.
Please, I'd like to ask that are there gender-specific roles in chemistry? Are there gender-specific jobs in chemistry?
When we say STEM bridges gender gap, what does that mean?
Hello?
Miss Man, did you get the question?
When we say STEM bridges gender gap, what does that mean?
Okay, that's for the virtual speaker. Okay, so we have to from the side. Okay.
Roles of SDG in science. SDGs.
That's for Professor Ayela. Roles of SDG in science. Okay? Please text your answer. One. Who's the second person? Okay.
How will those people teach them education? Teach people in remote places where they...
Can you go back? Can you say, please?
Those who promote STEM education, how would they teach people in remote areas where they don't use this condition?
Okay, that's for the... There is no question at the back there.
Both sexes have equal rights, freedom and conditions and opportunities for their life development in society. What if they are not given the opportunities?
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is to Dr. Abibola. So, it's a scientific fact that an hormone of stress can be released just by our thoughts alone, that we can think about our problem. It's a scientific fact that the hormone of stress can be released just by our thoughts alone, which means we can think about our problem and then it can make us fall sick. So my question is that if our thoughts can make us sick, so is it also possible that our thoughts can make us ill?
Good afternoon, everybody. So my question goes thus. We have talked about equalities, but I would like to understand when we give people equal opportunities, it doesn't necessarily translate to equal outcomes. Now we are talking about giving females adequate representation, but according to studies, especially in the Scandinavian countries where they have very broad policies in their government that gives women opportunities, they discovered that even after, don't let me use the word pushing the females into more of STEM activities, at the end of the day, from the ages of 28 to 32, they start relinquishing those roles and going back to their gender-specific roles. So females don't really constitute more of the STEM fields, even in Scandinavian countries that have already been, we can use them as epitome of gender equalities in societies. So how exactly do we aim to help, I know this is for females, to help females to see the need to be able to hold on in the STEM fields, knowing fully well that females at the end of the day, they are going to build society, and that is the truth. So how are we going to help them such that family pressures is not going to push them away from it at the end of the day? We can give equal opportunities, but we can't give equal outcomes. Thank you.
Very much for all those questions. They are very important. I'll start from the last speaker. What you said is actually very true. Equal opportunity do not amount to the same kind of outcomes, and we know why from what you have said. The female gender are specially placed. God has endowed us with the ability to be able to procreate and bring forth children. And you know that, and we all know that, raising the family itself is like a full-time job, and it takes a lot. And that is why we kind of get some kind of attrition when you get to a certain age for women. For example, at the undergraduate level, you have a lot of girls, you have more girls. But when you come to postgraduate level, the numbers begin to decrease a bit because other factors have started coming into place. For some, it's not so easy to be able to balance effectively raising a family, starting a family, and then combine with a competitive career, especially if you want to go to academics and all that. So, I think the best we can do is to keep encouraging and keep pushing that it is possible. It is possible to be a star, maintain your career, and also be able to have a solid home and have a happy home. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. Like I was saying about Marie Curie, she's one of our bright examples. I mean, she was a top scientist, but you could see that it was probably maybe easier for her because her husband is also a scientist like her. So they were working together, and maybe the babies, the children, they had 2 children, and they were also born into this science. They've seen their parents do things, maybe they even convert the kitchen to a laboratory. While she's cooking, they are doing some experiments and all that. So the child also grew into it. In fact, her first daughter also married a scientist. She and her husband also won the Nobel Prize about 30 years after her mom. But that's a very special example because probably the whole environment was also very conducive to her, and so that made it possible. So what we are saying is that it's not easy. There are many challenges. I don't have to talk about the challenges to women breaking barriers in science. There are a lot of challenges, but one of them is actually raising the family and being able to combine. But the good news is that it's not an impossible thing, and what we're saying is that give women the opportunity, give them the opportunity. Don't say, wait, well, she won't even do it. I remember at the time in my department, but this is funny, but it actually happened. Our guys were saying that because there was that they recruited some young babies one after the other, and we were just starting our families. So there was a time that 3 of us got pregnant at the same time, we were going on maternity leave at the same time, and our guys said, what is all this? I don't think we are going to employ women in reproductive age again. When you go do your work and all that, they were feeling challenged that what is all this? I said we don't have family now because we are lecturing. So that's a challenge that we face. You start your PhD with your colleagues, male colleagues. For example, I'll use myself as an example. I spent almost 10 years on my PhD. Myself and my husband were classmates. He finished his own within 3-4 years. I was still there struggling. But meanwhile, during that period, I had 3 children. I know each child will take his own time. But when I had my first child, I told my guy I'm not ready to work. He said you are not serious, go and take care of that child. By the time I came back, another one don come. So you see the challenges that we face, but despite all that, we've been able to move forward. I did not allow that to send me back and say I will turn me shame. At the time I was almost going to give up, but thank God I have a husband who is also interested in academia and said no, you must finish this, you must finish. Oh yeah, what am I going to do for you? So we need to support our women folk. We need to be there for them, both the husband and the children. All of us need to work together. But like he said, equal opportunity is not around to equal outcomes. We have different outcomes, and that applies to every field of life. Now, someone asked about, I hope I'm able to answer your question. Someone asked about, are there gender-specific roles in science? I would say no, because there is this popular saying, what a man can do, woman can do. Actually, a lot of the careers that people think, these are male-dominated, is for male. Find out that females have been able to come in, and they've been able to break the glass ceiling. So there's really no job that is specifically, though naturally there are some gender assigned roles, like when it comes to giving back to children, it's the female. Even if you see a man that is pregnant, I'm not sure it's the one that it may not be baby that's in that womb or whatever. So what we are saying is that when it comes to science, practice of science, I don't think there are any specific gender roles for the women, okay? Because we are also able to do as much as the men can if given the opportunity and the facilities to be able to perform. So I'm going to say that on that. What are the other questions? Questions are so many. What are the other questions on these gender things? Breathing gender gap. Well, that is why we are having this kind of forum. Okay, we know that. Okay, someone talked about gender equality and all that. We know that there is gender inequality. It's a known fact all over the world, and that is why UN and the SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals. That's why it is one of the topmost goals in the SDG. And it's the UN said that for them to be able to achieve all the other goals, there are 17 of them. You can Google them, zero poverty, zero hunger, abolish poverty and all that. That the gender equality is so germane, it's so important that it will help to be able to achieve these other goals. Because if you don't give the other gender opportunities to express themselves, how are we ever going to get there? So it's important that we know that even for the SDG goals to be achieved, now we are drawing close now, it's 2030. We already spent how many years? The millennium, the MDG goals, we are not able to achieve them. They now put them together again and start another one. We are close to 2030 and we are still far behind. But with efforts from all of us, young and old, we can achieve more of these goals. And I believe that God will help us at the foot our trees. But so this kind of guide is also supposed to help us to be able to reduce all these gender gaps that we have in the society. Thank you very much.
Professor Baba, to help us with the question that has to do with the teaching of other areas when you have a STEM teacher. Okay, how can you diversify? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. The question is, how can a STEM teacher be effective to teach on other areas? Without being biased, I want to say that if you are somebody well-grounded in STEM, there is no area you cannot dabble into. Let me give you specific examples. At the end of 100 level in the university, we have some students who come in for science or engineering related courses or even medicine. And when they cannot cope, even some at the end of 300 level, and they are about being sent out of the university, it's very easy for them to come to social science or arts. But I've never seen the reverse. Do you understand? I have never seen a student that has challenges in the art of social sciences and will be able to navigate to the sciences. I have never seen it. I also have students that have taken passion in languages. We have students in chemistry that will go and take courses in European studies. Can we have a science in European studies come and take chemistry? It's not possible. So, if you are well grounded in STEM, you can navigate any area of life. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello, I'm happy to be here. I'm Ganiat Oloyede. Presently, I'm IUPAC Personality of the Year. I'm the first Nigerian based in Nigeria to join American Chemical Society. I want to tell you can break barriers. Say I can break barriers. I can break barriers. So I'm the first Nigerian based in Nigeria to join American Chemical Society as a career consultant. I'm also a professional mentor with Royal Society of Chemistry UK. That you can break barriers. Say I can break barriers. I can break barriers. Because we are breaking, wherever you are, you don't have to travel abroad before you break barriers. Anywhere I am, I can break barriers. Please. Because I want to tell you that, I've traveled, and when I say I mentor, I'm a career consultant. It's not only Nigerians alone. Even when I travel to the US, I coach them on their, education and so many other things. So please, I'm assuring you today that you have not come here to waste your time. You can break barriers anywhere you are. So just to add to the issue on gender gap, somebody asked the question on gender gap. When you are bridging gender gap, you are creating new opportunities. Because as you are now, just ask yourself, what opportunity can I create? I want to be a future leader, or don't want to be a future leader. I want to be a future. So you think right from now, what opportunity do I want to create and impact on others? So that I can break barriers, so that they will know me anywhere I am, and they will be looking for me and they will be calling me. Then, you want to make education accessible to all. That's, gender gap. Then, you want to raise awareness, create awareness. That's one of the things we are doing today. Is that not so? We are creating awareness that we can break barriers. At your young age, many of you students, your ages are between, the secondary school students now. You have all the energy, or don't you? You have all the energy. So just believe in yourself that I want to be impactful. Now, then you want to break the stereotypes at home and in the school. I was in a program for Organization of Women in Science for Developing World this morning. That's why I came late. And we're talking about career options for the sciences. Some of them now said, they didn't mention engineering, I cannot mention engineering. They said no, it's for men. Is engineering for men alone? No. So for our professions, there is you are not limited to a particular profession. So please, whatever you've learned today from all our lecturers is a take home. And it's not only a take home for you to put under your pillows, it's a take home for you to what? To explore. Think of what you could do. Think of what I want to become in future. Think of how I want to impact the community. Think of how I want to be known here in Nigeria and abroad. You can be nominated for a lot of positions. Organization of Women in Science, I was there as vice president, so many other honors like that. And I want you as youth so aspire for more greater thing than that. And mind you, they say today is traditionally Valentine's Day. Is that not so? So as girls, be what? Be careful. Care for yourselves.
Thank you, ma'am. Literally, you do not have to japa before you break barriers. Breaking barriers right from here in Nigeria. Thank you, ma'am. Now we listen to the last answer of the last question from Mrs. Adero. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, before I respond to your question, I just wanted to add something to what Prof said. So you said if you give equal opportunities, it doesn't equate to equal outcomes. I think that's where equity comes in. Equity is not given, okay, so we give, everybody needs 500 naira, we give everybody 500 naira, whether you're male or female. So the female might need the 500 naira, and in addition need another extra 100 naira, and then 2 weeks after might need another 50 naira. So that would mean that beyond the call of duty, for them to be able to achieve the ultimate goal, they might need more. They might need more time. Prof was giving an example. Why it took her husband 3 years to finish his PhD, or had 10 years, but they've gotten to where they are going to. So it is still the outcome. It's just that what is good for the goose may not always be good for the gander. Okay. The question you asked, that if you've heard that your thoughts can make you ill. Okay. So in mental health we say the way you think affects the way you feel, and then the way you feel affects the way you behave. I'll give you an example. So it's dark, and you enter this room, or maybe it's not very dark, and then you see this cord on the floor, and the first thought that came to your mind is, oh, maybe that's a snake. That's your thought. You start to feel afraid, and then you run. It's that simple. So a friend walks past you and doesn't greet you, and your first thought is, did I offend him? Then you start to feel bad. So that means I'm losing another friend. Then you start to avoid that person. I'm just giving very mundane things. So the way you think affects the way you feel affects what you do, and that cycle continues. So by the time you start to avoid the friend too begins to wonder, what's wrong with him, and then he too starts to avoid you. Then all of a sudden you just realize that you are apart. That's just the same way with our mental health. So I have pain in my body, and then the first thing I think is, maybe it's a cancer. Why are you laughing? And then you start to take all the things that when the chemist here, they will have heart attack at some of the things you people are consuming, and all of that. So we call a process called cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm sure you've heard of it, CBT. So cognitive thinking behavioral therapy. So that's what we use for most mental illnesses. And what we do is we try to challenge what we call your automatic thoughts. The thoughts that just pop into your head about anything, about everything. So somebody that has anxiety, for instance, comes into this room and feels everybody is looking at me, when in fact nobody had even paid attention. And so for that kind of person, we'll say, when you're going out, don't wear a t-shirt. Bros, I can't really see what's on your t-shirt. What's on your t-shirt? You are the only one wearing a t-shirt that has something written on it, something breed. Sorry? Rare breed. Okay, so you see, you cannot be feeling that people are talking about you, people are paying you attention, and wear that kind of t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with the t-shirt. It's just that once you wear that, everybody wants to read what is on your chest. And so they are staring at you. So that student I talked about the other time, that feels that everybody is always paying attention to him, he would wear t-shirts that are very... So I'll tell him, you are going to wear a plain t-shirt today. Then you are going to go and sit down in the stadium. Then you tell me how many people actually paid you attention. Then he will come back and tell you, man, nobody looked at me. Okay, so cognitive behavioral therapy, you change the way you think. Not everybody is paying you attention. You're not the most important thing. I'm just giving an example. Okay? And once we start to do that, nobody's paying attention to me. I am not the dullest person in this class. I might not be getting all my assignments right, but I'm not dull. I need to put in a little more work. If I put in a little more work, I'll be able to do better. You are changing your thinking. So when you sit down and you're like, dullard, you know, say, I'm not a dullard. I can do better. While it will take somebody 5 minutes to get this, it might take me 10 minutes to do it, but I will put in the work. Once you start to do that, then you do a test, and your grades come up in the test. You start to feel better, and then you want to do more. So yes, the way you think affects the way you feel, and the way you feel affects the way you behave, and that cycle continues. So I want to encourage all of us, think positive thoughts. It doesn't come to everybody every time, even me that I'm talking to you. There are times when I feel down, and then I have to tell myself, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Okay? So change the way you think. If you change the way you think, you will feel better about yourself. Feel better about yourself, you act better. You will dress better. Okay? You will eat better, you will sleep better. And then maybe Nigeria will be better. Nigeria will be better. How many of you want to Japan? I was telling somebody today, somebody said, okay, we're saying the pledge. And I was like, you people are still pledging. I thought the person, it's okay, go. When you people come back, we'll be collecting tax from you people. She had said, God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma. Positive mind, positive thinking, positive life. Thank you for that, ma. I hope all our questions have been answered. Thank you. Then now we move on.